Hi, Clark Studios followers, all 16 of you. I doubt we even have 16 people following us, but 6, let's knock a 10 off of that. That's probably pretty accurate. I am Oliver Clark. This is my darling wife, Miranda Clark, and we are given our weekly update that happens probably twice a month.
Yeah, we've knocked it down to every other week. Season of life, that kind of thing. But we are Oliver and Miranda. We're artists, we're married, and we live and trying to continue to live in a studio home shop setup, which, you know, if you've seen our last video, things are about to change a lot. I am formally committed to attend the Yale School of Architecture in the fall, so it's like 3 months until I start. So yeah. That's us. We're here.
Yep.
So we make these video updates so everyone knows what it's like to be a full-time self-employed artist and answer the million-dollar question of what do we do all week. So Oliver and I are both working on commissions right now. And do you want to talk about what you've done to make your commission more organized?
Sure. So starting this week out, finishing up last week, I was clamping a lot of wood together, so I finished that and had all of my clamps, which I went and bought another, I think 50, 52, 48, whatever a box at Harbor Freight is. I went and bought one box of 3-inch C-clamps. So I made a clamp rack to hold all of them and get them out of the IKEA basket I had previously been using.
IKEA bag inside of a basket, not even...
Yeah, it's a laundry hamper that has an IKEA bag in it. And so although I was able to get all of the 3-inch clamps on the wall, which is nice, all of the 2-inch clamps are now just filling up the basket. So I guess I've made it 2/3 there. And then I was also able to clear one of the workbenches in the shop, which it's had my hand planes and saws just laying helter-skelter on it for a good 6 months now. So I built a saw till and hand plane till, and so that's hopefully going to keep good airflow around the tools so that they don't gain rust. I had a system before, but it was not allowing the tools to stay dry, so they were developing rust. So I'm hoping that won't happen with this new setup. And I even bought the fancy jojoba oil, which that's what Lee Nielsen recommends you rub down your stuff with. So how are you spending the beginning of the week?
Yeah, so that was like Monday, Tuesday. I took Monday off, took personal day. Mostly just needed sleep. And then on Tuesday, so last week I closed the shop, and so this week was just a lot of housekeeping. So some people bought previously built work that just needs to be cleaned and touched up. So I did a lot of housekeeping on that. So painting and priming these small triangles that I used to make, and then repainting a larger work that used to be white from a solo exhibition I had in 2019. I don't know what I was thinking with the color. I immediately regretted it as soon as I painted it white. It's just, it doesn't feel something you can have in your house. It just, and then clear coating it and keeping the white so white, it just looked horrible the moment dust landed on it. So I painted.
Horrible.
To me, it looked horrible. So then I went over, re-skim coated the whole thing, and then painted it a really lovely seafoam green teal thing that I think fits really well. And then from doing that, it kind of cleared up my schedule to work on 2 of the orders that I have that need to be done by next month. So I sanded, primed, and sealed, and yeah, I think we're just on prime coat.
So was the sculpture's color inspired by Aquafina's character in Raya in The Last Dragon?
No.
She might be saying that for you all, but I think we all know that subconsciously it can swim really well.
No, they don't swim really well.
We won't know until we try. Anyways, I'll quit interrupting.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I did that, and then sanded and primed another order, which felt really good. And these are things that I already had built, so I just pulled them apart, glued them up, and then primed them. And mostly, yeah, just try to keep my head level while doing that. It's very tedious work, so, and just very like step by step stuff that doesn't allow for a whole lot of creativity. It's really just my skill in woodworking and being able to finesse with an orbital sander.
Yeah. Which you've gotten good at.
Yeah, I have. So while I'm doing that, Oliver was out here working on his commission, which he made some good progress on.
I did. So I was able to clean up all the curves. So they had just the roughness from the glue excess from being clamped. So I was able to go over them with a power planer and a angle grinder with a sanding flap wheel on them. So I was able to streamline the curves, and then I've started adding the blocks that I want to use to hold the whole thing together. And so I got to play with my antique spoke shave and my draw knife. So those are two of my really tools I really like, which my spoke shave is really getting beat up. So I might try to remake it. It was an antique, and when I got it, it was all cracked, but like the angles on it are just so perfect for it to work really, really well. But it's, I don't know, it's very, very old. So just kind of needs to be rebuilt. So yeah, that was how I spent most of my time, was just kind of cleaning up wood and laying it out so that it'll line up. I hope to start cutting the joinery next week.
And you just finished that scarf joint.
Yeah, I spent I spent a very long time. So there's a very large curve throughout the sculpture that instead of it being just one piece, it's so big it wouldn't fit in a car if it was one piece. So I've designed it to be two that can mesh together. And so lining that up, that took a really long time to get it. And then originally it was like, whenever it was like that, I was afraid it was too thin. So I like added more wood onto it to make sure that it had enough heft that it wouldn't be a fault point or anything, which it looks really good now. So yeah, that was how I spent my time, was just kind of cleaning up wood.
Organizing clamps.
Yeah, and then in the video we'll show I used the bandsaw to rip a piece of ash that Harrison gave me. Shout out to him. Tag you. So we have a shot of me bandsawing that on the angle that it's at, and then a power planer taking it to the different angle so that whenever it sits, it will sit crooked, and that allows for there to be a really good, you can look straight on at the piece and see all of it instead of it being seen just in like profile. So that's why I do that. And then using the draw knife and spoke shave to clean up the bark and keep the live edge. So that was my week, was making joints and cleaning up wood. It's really wonderful to just get to pull out the planer and use it to clean up my wood without it being a big issue. So glad I had that.
Yeah, that's our week. More progress next week. Maybe next week I'll start actually joining my commission, which we milled all the wood for last week, or 2 weeks ago. I don't know, it's been sitting this week.
Which it looks pretty impressive just on your table.
Yeah, it's 10-foot long lumber, but I'm really excited about it, and it's good for me to just to look at it and think about it, and then get my studio cleared and all these orders done, or to a stopping point where I'm just painting. And then I can really just focus on the shapes and the joints and the geometry. Because the way that I design this work, and I'm really excited about it, is in plan view. So it frees the compositions from gravity, and like anything can happen, and it's a lot of fun for me. And then they'll just be painted Bauhaus Easter egg colors. So yeah.
That's good. Yeah. And here are some pan shots of the commission I'm working on. So just kind of showing where it's at in this stage. And spent a lot of this week also just playing with the GoPro, because it's really the first week we've been able to use it, we finally got lens protectors and
all
some
the accessories
harnesses,
arrived. Yeah.
So we're trying to just play with different angles, and we don't know anything about it. So, yeah.
All right.
All right.
That's it. Thanks so much.
Talk to you next week.
Or 2 weeks from now. We'll see.
Deuces.